Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video, we're going to show you how to change out the MaytagRefrigerator Defrost Thermostat. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new defrost thermostat. The defrost thermostat is a safety device that shuts off the defrost heater if it gets too hot in the freezer. The main reason you'll be changing it out is if it's failed and the defrost cycle isn't working and the refrigerator section is getting too warm. In order to change out the part, first thing we have to do is open up both refrigerator doors. Once you have those doors open, we're going to open up the freezer door. And then we have to remove all the shelves. Our refrigerator is missing a bunch of these and they're no longer available, so we can't get them to show you how to take them out. But once you get those out, we have to remove the lower storage drawer. It's held in by two locking tabs on each side. We're just going to use a small flathead screwdriver to lift up on the locking tabs while you lift up on the drawer itself so it doesn't snap back in. Once you have this side done, you want to hold it up and we can go do the other side. Once you have the locking tabs released, you can lift the drawer out and set it aside. Once you have the drawers out, you want to close the refrigerator doors, and then we're going to take the freezer door off. It's just held on by a couple screws on the back. If you're skinny and you think you can get back in there without taking it out, you can do it without, but we're going to take it out just to make it easier. We're just going to use a 1/4-inch nut driver to loosen up the top two screws and take the bottom screw out. To get the door off, all you have to do is lift it off and set it aside. Once you have the door off, we're just going to push the rails in a little bit. You'll want to push them in all the way, otherwise you'll block those two screws from coming out with the nut driver. Once you have the rails in, we can take the back panel off. We have to remove these covers first. You want to take a small flathead screwdriver and stick it in there where the slot is. Just pull the cover off. And then take the thermistor out of the holder and pull the cover out, set it aside. Then we can take the center cover off. Just have to stick the screwdriver in here and press on it to release the tab. Once you have the first one off, the second one will probably just come off. And you can pull the cover off and set it aside. Now we're going to use a 1/4-inch nut driver to take out the 4 screws, hold the back panel on. Once you have the screws out, we can take the back panel off. Just have to carefully pull down on the top, making sure the sensor goes up behind there. And then you can lift up on it and pull it out. Now that we have the back panel off, we have access to the defrost thermostat. It's mounted right here on the copper line. You want to be careful of the line and these fins. The fins are pretty sharp. We're just going to unclip it and pull it down. Once you have it unclipped, we can pull it out. And there's only 2 wires to it, so we're going to have to cut those off so we can splice the new one on. Just want to reach in with the wire cutters and cut it off. Once you have it free, you can pull it out of the freezer. Here's the old defrost thermostat next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. They give you some extra wire for the defrost thermostat for the brown wire. If yours is damaged and you need to replace it, you can use it. Otherwise, you can just cut it off, like the orange one, so we can connect it to the old wires. And this one's already pre-stripped, so you just have to pull that off. We can strip the brown one. Once you have those stripped, we can strip the wires up in the freezer. Once you have the wires stripped, we're going to put some heat shrink onto the wires. If you don't have any of this, you can just use some electrical tape. Just want to make sure that no water gets in there. And then we're going to crimp the connectors on. Then we can crimp it to the wires in the freezer. Just want to match up the colors, brown and orange. Once you have them crimped down, we're going to slide the heat shrink up. Once you have the heat shrink on, we can grab the heat gun and shrink it down. Once you have the heat shrink on, we can carefully hook the defrost thermostat back onto the copper tubing. Swing it back up into place. Be careful with the copper line. You don't want to put a hole in it or damage it. And then you just want to make sure any of the wire is out of the way, not hanging down on the evaporator. Once you have it mounted, we can put the back panel on. To put the back panel on, we're just gonna carefully feed it back into the back wall and lift it up into place. Before you lift it totally up, you have to reach up inside and make sure you have the thermistor coming out through this little cutout. Once you have it in place, we can use the corners nut driver to put the screws in. Once you have the back panel on, we can snap the covers back on. Just have to line the locking tabs up, snap it in. And on this one, we'll have to put the thermistor in. Just have to feed it down through the opening. Snap it in. Then we're going to turn it around and put the tabs in on this side. Rotate it over and snap it in. Once you have that cover on, we can put everything back together. Now we can pull the rails out and put the door back on. Just want to pull it out, and then we can grab the door, and we have to set it on these 4 upper mounting tabs. Once you have it in place, we can use that quarter-inch nut driver to tighten down the screws. Then we can do the ones on the other side. Now that you have the freezer door on, we're gonna open up the refrigerator doors so we can put the baskets and shelves back in. Just want to grab the big lower basket and set it down into place. You just want to make sure all 4 tabs lock in. And then you can replace whatever drawers you have here. Then you can close the refrigerator doors, push the freezer door back in, plug it back in, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.